All right, good morning. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? We are live in the live. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Rick. Good morning, everybody. Sawadee, Ton Chow. What's happening? Um, Today is Sunday, November 14th, all day long. It is now 8:04, 8:03, depending on what the real deal is. And it's another day in Thailand. And, I haven't been all that active lately, really, with anything. I haven't been going out that much, I haven't been doing much. And it's been because of our dog, Odie. One thing I wanted to talk about is if you live in Thailand and you have a dog, and I knew this, but I didn't know it was quite this difficult. It's very difficult to get vets that will put a dog down, put a dog to sleep, because of the Buddhist religion. And I did know this, and I had heard this, but I thought, I know you can find a few doctors, at least it's not that difficult. And then my wife said that the vet that we were at the other day doesn't do that. And they said, okay, well, we'll find another place. And we did find a place. The thing is that now I've heard from numerous doctors that, including the one who says that his office does it, but he said, I suggest you give the dog a couple of days before you bring him here and see how things turn out, and take as best care of him as you can. I've heard this from several people, but and just let him drift off to sleep. Let it happen naturally, which is very hard to watch. He's a member of our family, and he was such a sweet dog, such a good little dog, and it's just, there's somebody always with him now. And if the thing is we woke up this morning, my wife and I, both of us were upset. We're thinking about it, and it's tense time, a little bit stressful. And he had walked across the house. I was like, what happened? Where is he? Is he out? Somebody took him out for a piss? What's going on? Because we're letting him stay inside. And he had walked across the house, and he was chilling across the house, and I don't know. It's strange, but you don't want to try to put a dog to sleep, and maybe they have a chance, So it's a fine line, but man, if you're here and you do have a dog, you need. And I've read this online, and I've looked at numerous places, and apparently the best thing to do is to just go to the place, because they're more apt to do it. There's a couple of places. I don't know the place that my wife got. I don't know the name of the place. We really wanted to be able to, have the dog go to the vet that we've been taking for years. Taking him to for years. Good morning, Carlos. It's not possible. And so, anyway, it's been a little bit, it's been a sad time in our house because, he's one of our family. So, be aware of that. If you have an animal, if you have a dog or a cat or something like that, the Thais you're not just going to go to any old vet and the vet's going to go, okay, no problem, I'll put him to sleep, I'll euthanize him. No, that's not how it's going to happen. And I didn't know it was this difficult. But as I said, we know of at least one place, really two places. But he's walking around, so it's kind of like we just take the best care of him as we can. And you guys have seen him, the little white fluffy dog. Well, he's not that small, but he's not as small as Lala, our other dog that passed away. And we've had several dogs, and we had Doggy, which was the first dog, and that was not a very good dog. We got him when he was a little bit older, and he was just did not have the right temperament at the time. Alex and Nicholas were young, and he snapped at Alex once, and that was it. Took him down to the south to live with my wife's mother, and the dog ran around in the field and ran around with other dogs, and that was sad. But then we had Andy, who was like a little dachshund, and Andy passed away. We had Lala and Odie, and they loved each other. And then one day we went outside and Lala was gone. And now we got Odie, and my wife's like, I don't want to get another dog. I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. Our dog is about, I'm not sure, we're not really sure, but I think around 12 or 13. Yeah, it's brutal, man. It's hard on the emotions. And, I don't get real emotionally, I don't cry very easily about things that don't affect, well, I just don't cry all that easily. I mean, maybe by myself I might, but like around other people it doesn't really happen. But it's been tough. It's been a rough time. Anyway, just be aware of that. Be aware that if you move here, that is one of the things. And generally, I think Buddhism is has a lot of really positive attributes. I'm not a real religious person, but I do think it has some great things about it. But this is not particularly one of them, where they believe to let nature take its course, which, say what you will about it. I don't know. There's not much more I can say about it, but just be aware of it. So that's been going on. And then, I got a couple of messages, and I've had people talk to me about what's going on with the PayPal. And PayPal has changed they're revamping their system. I think it came in March of this year, but now they've said if you want to open a PayPal account, if you want to have a PayPal account that you can withdraw money to your Thai bank account, you must have a registered business, and that goes for a personal account as well. So, it's a bit of a pain in the neck, and my wife and I were going, listen, I mean, I'm not complaining about how much money I make from PayPal, like from people sending me money, from subscriptions, from various other things where I get paid through PayPal. But I don't know how worth it is to have to pay 7% VAT and then pay taxes on what you're earning. So for my wife to go ahead and register something, I don't know if it's worth it. Now, fortunately, this is not taking place. They did give you some lead time. It'll take a few months. February 18th is the last day. So if you have a balance, well, basically what it is you're not allowed to carry a balance or withdraw to a Thai bank account unless you have a registered account that matches up with the PayPal account. It's as simple as that. Well, listen, Carlos, I mean, this ain't old Yeller. I don't have a gun that I can put up against his head, and I'm not gonna, I don't know that the only way would be some kind of a medication, and I don't know that, I don't know. I mean, it's really hard for me. It's been harder than I thought. With Lala, we all love Lala. Lala was a great little dog. She was so smart, and she was really cool. She'd just chill with you, she was so chill. Odie's been a little bit neurotic, but it grows on you a little bit. You know, it grew on us. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to talk about it anymore. I just wanted to let everybody know that, you know, remember that if you come here, there are a lot of things that are different, and this is one of them. It's not quite as easy. And they don't want to give narcotics. Really, they don't like giving narcotics to anybody. They'd rather give you some aspirin or some Tylenol. Now, they do give morphine and fentanyl in the hospitals, and I've had them on several occasions. One when I fell, and then, you know, with my gallbladder and my bile duct surgeries and my hip surgery. But they're not real willing. If you have something like a broken arm, they're not going to like hand out. There's not going to hand out a bottle of, say, a couple hundred Vicodin or 100 Vicodin or even 20 Vicodin. They're just not going to do that. You're on your own. You better handle the pain, you know. And to me, I look at it in a couple different ways. If I have to handle the pain, I will. Doesn't mean that I don't want to be comfortable. So, you know, I'm not one of these guys who goes, okay, I'm going to go to the dentist and have them, you know, like yank out my back teeth, and I'm just going to go, oh, I don't need anything. No, go ahead, shoot the stuff in there, because I don't want to. I know I'm going to be more miserable afterwards. So, you know, you should be aware of that. But getting back to the PayPal thing, the whole thing is with the PayPal is supposedly it's for money laundering, because a lot more people are working online, and I'm talking about Thai people, not just foreigners. The foreigners have been doing this for a long time, freelancing. There's been the eBay and stuff like that, you know, or through YouTube or whatever. But I think they're more concerned about the Thais, because now a lot more Thais are working online and they are skirting the tax system. And also, and I don't really know that I buy this 100%, but they're saying, oh, it's for money laundering purposes. Now, Thailand is the only country in Southeast Asia that has this concern. Now, I don't know why. What about Indonesia? What about, you know, Cambodia? It just, I don't know. It strikes me as a bit strange, and it almost seems to me like the Thai government, and of course I could be wrong, but the Thai government does not want this is also not just a Thai thing. I think this is how it is in Australia and in the United States and in the UK. The people having too much power in the eyes of the government is not a good thing. And the way that I look at it is, the people need to have the majority of the power, and the government, and the, you know, the government works for the people. Unfortunately, well, we may vote for people, for our politicians, and, you know, in some places we have the right to vote and that kind of thing. You know, we can choose. Our choices are limited, and, you know, some of the rules that govern who can run and who cannot run, you know, I don't even know all of them, but I'm sure there are many that make it quite difficult. Not only that, but you need quite a bit of money. So, you know, I don't know that the days of a guy like Lincoln in a log cabin becoming president that are still going to happen. I don't see that happening. You better have big dough. Now, before I go any further in this stream, the Thai baht, 32.79 to the dollar. What can I say? That the look on my face should tell you everything. The air quality is 94, although it is a beautiful day today. It's very nice. It's cooler. It's 79 degrees, high of 86, low of 76. The feel-like temperature right now is 84 degrees. 74% humidity. So if you're out in the sun, it's still a little bit warm, but it's a very nice day. And I'd say if you're down by the beach or something like that, it's probably fantastic. 20% chance of rain. I'd like to give a big shout out to Mr. Christopher and also Mr. Paul, and just to everybody who helps support the channel. in whatever form, financially or otherwise, watching, commenting, that sort of thing. So please be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. It's very simple. You just hit the subscribe button and then hit the notification bell if you want to be notified. And then look down in the description. You want any information, you want to contact me, whatever. Everything's down in the description. You can get yourself a shirt, an American, in Bangkok. Plus, I think there's two other versions. There's the version with the little logo right here, and there's another version that most people don't even see for some reason. I don't know why, but I am going to put the shirts up on because of the PayPal. This is one of the things that I'm going to have to do is because of the PayPal situation. I'm not going to continue to use the Teespring, which is who makes the T-shirts. When you click there, they automatically take care of everything for me. When you go there and you go to the shirt, the destination, you click on the link, they take care of everything. I don't have to do anything. I don't even have to give them any money, which is, great. And then I just get the difference. That's how it works. We got a group of Chinese here who have been I don't want to say terrorizing because that's the wrong word, but they're a little bit loud, which I understand things. There's nobody here, but they have been. When I came in, they were making life difficult for Starbucks here. I don't know if it was the language barrier or whatever, but anyway, they're just chilling out. Hey, Johnny, how you going? Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with YouTube. They did say the other day I saw their creators video. The guy came out and said they're not removing the dislike button. What they're doing is they're moving it to be private to where the only people could see it are the creators. So I'll be able to see it, but I have to go into the YouTube studio, which is where you get everything. Where you look at all your analytics and you see how many people watch for this and that, and you set all your settings with public, private, scheduled, premiere, whatever it might be. If you go in there, you're going to have to go to a section and then go look for the dislike button and see how many dislikes you get. I already know there's people that don't like me, and the thing is that there's people. I like Jerry Seinfeld. There's people who hate him. I don't care if they like me or not at this point. Go ahead, click the thumbs down. Makes no difference to me. You want to click the thumbs up, great. But, that doesn't necessarily mean you like me or even that you like my content. Some people, I'm sure, they just do it just for the hell of it. So, yeah, okay, I guess it's good. I don't know. To me, it's a bit like, I don't see why they just can't leave it up. My feelings don't get hurt that bad. Sometimes I wonder why so many people might do it. But percentage-wise, I know that, at least for me, it always works out to 75, 85, even 90% of the thumbs clicked are thumbs up, and the rest are thumbs down. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But I think YouTube is doing this, as I said the other day, YouTube is doing this because of companies. See, it doesn't have anything to do with the little guys. I don't really believe that. What it is places like, let's say that Britney Spears releases a new song, and there are people that just hate Britney Spears. They could be people who love Christina Aguilera, so they hate Britney Spears. So they click thumbs down just for the hell of it, or a movie review or something like that. They'll click thumbs down just for the hell of it, just because they don't want that particular movie to succeed. And I think in that sense, okay, well, whatever. I mean, listen, there's people I don't like. You know, what are you gonna do? You know, everybody that I've met in my life has not been somebody that I loved or liked or ever want to see again. And I'm sure it's the same way with me. You know, some people may not get my sarcasm or you know, my smiling face. I don't know. They may not like it, but whatever. It's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, be aware if you get a bar girl pregnant and you both don't want to keep it. Yeah, that can be a little problematic as well. Although, you know, Thailand, I think is, I think in Thailand it's a little easier to do that than it is to even put your dog to sleep, honestly. Fortunately, you know, that's not something that has happened to me, but yeah, you better be careful of that. And you, what you also better be careful of is if she wants the kid and you don't, because not only do you have to worry about her and her family coming after you for support, which I don't know legally, there's a whole hell of a lot they can do. I do believe there are some things they can do. But, you know, what about your guilt? Some people, they have no guilt, and I remember there was one guy a long time ago who commented in the chat, and he said something to the effect, I just want to spread my seed with as many women as possible, and if they get pregnant, that's on them. I was like, what? You know, so I think now that I'm older, I understand that you know, if you're gonna stick your dick in something, you better protect yourself. I mean, like, don't use her condom, use your own. And you know, if you're gonna be doing it with her regularly, you better think about, is she the type of girl that maybe, you know, if she gets knocked up, I could see myself with. And I hate to put it that way, but you better wrap it because you don't want any problems. And some guys, I know guys, I have met so many guys who are like, oh, I don't worry about HIV, I don't worry about AIDS, I don't worry about all these diseases, it's not gonna happen to me. And well, if she gets pregnant, not my problem, you know, that kind of thing. And it's just, okay, do whatever you want. You know, this is why I don't ever want to give advice, and I forget, oh, I think it was John who was telling me about how he gave somebody advice about playing the trumpet, because John was an avid, or at least he used to be an avid trumpet player. And, you know, it's the old adage, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can tell some knucklehead, some chowderhead, hey, be careful where you stick your pecker, because if you knock her up, it will change your life. And if you're not prepared, if you're not somebody who really is into the girl, oh my goodness, be careful. Swedish, what's happening there? How you doing? Andy, you booked a flight early February, AQS hotel now for the insurance. The insurance shouldn't be so bad, but I don't know how long you're staying. I don't know, you know, with the insurance, I'm wondering how long that's going to stick. Are they going to do that forever? This is another thing to think about. But, you know, Anatol is he's in the news again, which I find, you know, normal. Health minister claims another AstraZeneca shot is necessary for him to enter Switzerland. Well, welcome to my world, pal. He needs a fourth shot of COVID because he needs to attend a meeting abroad. He had 2 Sinovac shots in February. All right, I had 2 Sinovac shots. And, you know, if I want to go back to the United States, I'm going to have to get something else, like Moderna, Pfizer, whatever. I'm going to need to get 2 other shots. But, you know, we'll see. Dude sounds like Scott's fertilizer sprayer. Huh? What? Scott's brand in U.S., not U.S. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you mean. Well, it's quite easy to use it if you just take the time to set everything up. It's very easy to use crypto here in Thailand. Although, let me put it to you this way. Because I need to reiterate this, or I need to be a little more specific. Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. When it comes to getting the money, it's very simple to get your money. When it comes to using the money in a cafe or something, no, it's not very easy. However, if you transfer the money to your bank account and then you want to do a QR scan or something like that, or you just want to take it out and use cash, you can always do that. But it's an extra step. So, they're not there yet, and I don't know if they're gonna be anytime soon. I have not seen the ability to use Bitcoin in Thailand. In fact, I'm not somebody who uses a lot of it. I don't have any right now. I don't have Bitcoin. I don't have Litecoin. I don't have, what was the other one with the E? Ethereum. I don't have that. I don't have any of that, so at this point, I think it's just on a case-by-case basis, and maybe you can get some hotel, like some privately owned hotel or business to be able to take it. Let me see here. Gotta look at something. I wouldn't count on it though, for sure. I would not count on it in terms of being able to pay at places. You're not going to go into the mall and pay with it or anything like that. Now, I asked a question the other day, are you willing to deposit 1.2 million baht or 100,000 baht a month to retire in Thailand? 130 votes, 69% said no, retirees deserve better. 18% said yes, it's no big deal, and 12% said they're still uncertain. Let me go back here. Coming back on the 29th, didn't have any issues with the pass system. They didn't even hassle me on my work travel insurance versus one on their list. Well, that's good. Good to know. I've had some issues with their online interactions with the Thai government. I've had a few issues. However, usually, if you're patient, you'll get through those issues. I don't particularly like the pattern that they've established, and they do have an established pattern of fucking up when they build their websites. You just can't seem to get it right the first time. And why can Cambodia get it right? Why can some of these other places get it right, but they can't? I don't know. Now, this is just anecdotal evidence from what I've seen, but it does seem, if you think about all the times that their websites have been in the news just in the past year. So it's good you can get in. It's good there's no problem. That's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be seamless. You just go there, boom, 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 it's done. UK to recognize. I don't know that you can say that one insurance company is the best insurance company or the easiest to use, because first of all, there are a lot of people who have insurance and they don't want to change insurance companies. QR got back in 4 hours? Okay. Who was a guy who got banned from Soy Cowboy years ago? I don't know. I don't remember the guy's name. There was a guy that I thought that there was an older guy who was going around paying younger women in like Isan somewhere. He was meeting up with young women, and he was, offering to pay them, and he had HIV, and he was giving it to them, and I think he got thrown in jail. I don't know what the guy's name was or everything, but it's like that's. Here's the thing that I was thinking about the other day, and I think people forget. You don't really know these girls. You don't know them, and it takes time to get to know them. And if they are working with a lot of foreigners in a bar, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying that they can't make good wives or anything like that. I think you need to know your shit if you ever want to consider getting involved with one. And I think you better be prepared. But I think for most guys, they don't really know the people. And if they don't speak the language and the girl speaks pidgin English, you don't know the girl. You don't know her hardships. You don't know the shit she's been through. You really don't know who you're getting involved with. So that's why it's not like I'm saying, you don't fall in love and all that kind of stuff. I'm not some old guy who's never met some girl and went, oh my God, she's gorgeous, and oh, she likes me, and wow, we're gonna have a thing, and oh, the banging is fantastic, and we love each other. Of course, it happens, right? But this is a different culture, and I do think it makes a bit of a difference, Slippery slope. Well, let's be clear about this 1.2 million. I don't think that has been completely verified. I think that it was on 2 websites. It may only be on 1 website now. And so I think the way you have to think about it is nothing's been formally introduced, but you should be prepared for it to happen. That's how I look at it with this 800 and 1.2. Would you say Asia as a whole, not only time it's closed, I'm shutting down for more? Well, I just know Malaysia is more difficult. Thailand, in some ways, is more difficult. Myanmar has never really been all that easy or open. I'm not sure about Laos. Indonesia is not the easiest place, but it is possible. Vietnam doesn't have a retirement visa, but it is not that difficult, or it wasn't that difficult. So all in all, I would say no. Places are not really. It's not like they're shutting down, but I think the pandemic has made things different, and I think that. Especially here in Thailand, well, I don't want to say especially. In many places, this pandemic has been reason to implement change that may not otherwise be implementable. I think this gives a reason. And hopefully the climate change won't be the next thing, and it'll be coming immediately after this, because I don't want to live the rest of my life like this. My buddy was telling me yesterday, make sure when I go to Chiang Mai, and when I do eventually do a longer trip on the river, or whatever it is I'm doing, if I'm doing a video, don't wear a mask, because people don't want to see it. People are sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hearing about the numbers. I'm sick of hearing about who in the hell closes up their country for 59 or 60 or 100 people dying of one thing in their country. I mean, people die of all sorts of things. So at this point, I think we're well past the breaking point. I think it's time. It's just been time for a while, and I'm really sick of all this shit. Now, you know what? I was going to go down to Chattachak. I was going to go last week, then I thought, I'll go this week. And just because of the situation with our dog, and I just haven't felt like going. I haven't been in a great mood because of it. I just been a little sad, and I just haven't felt like going there because I don't want to have to go there and walk around with a mask on and in the heat, and then see maybe the things there are opening up a little bit more. But I know there's a lot of places shut down, and I mentioned this the other day, like right down the street from my house. As long as I have been living in the townhouse where we live, there's been a massage parlor down the street. Now, it's a legitimate massage parlor. It's mainly for, like, foot massages, traditional Thai massages. That place, went by there yesterday. It's completely gutted, or day before yesterday. Completely gutted. They're out. They're done. That place is gone. Been there at least 10, 12 years. 800K doesn't purchase Malaysia. Yeah, Malaysia was 10 times the amount, and they did not grandfather the people who were already in the system. That's kind of, that's a bit harsh, but it tells you something, Mandatory insurance. Well, it may not go away now. However, how do you go from 40,000 and 400,000 to 100,000 US dollars? That's what, 7, 8 times more. If you're dealing with the 400,000, that's almost 8 times more. So, again, where's the logic? Hey, Dallo. Europe is going back into lockdown. I haven't heard that because I'm trying not to look at the news. I know a little bit about what's going on here in Thailand, and that's it. I don't want to know what's going on with Joe Biden. I don't want to know what's going on. I don't want to hear about people getting beaten up in say, Australia. I did hear there was literally tens of thousands of people protesting in Australia, but that still leaves a large, against the way that the government and their leaders have been acting. But that still leaves many other people who are not going out and protesting, which is, it's understandable too. Not everybody wants to go out and risk getting the shit beat out of them or getting locked up or, whatever it might be. And that's how it's been, and it will always be. A Sunday feeling. Yeah, that's true. Very true. They may reduce, but travel insurance will stay mandated. Well, I don't doubt that. And quite frankly, I think everybody should have insurance. If you're coming to a foreign country, you should always have insurance. Even if it's just travel insurance, you need to be covered, And I haven't always had it. In the beginning, I had travel insurance. Then there's a couple times I just went, no, I don't need it. I'm going to live forever. And obviously that's not the case now. And now, we all have insurance in our house, and it's going to stay that way. Likely a good chunk of Malaysian expats heading Thailand way. Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Although, Thailand is not necessarily the easiest place to come in, but when you compare how much the requirements were and everything, I guess it's not that bad. Lockdown's more harm than good, crushing economies, yes. Well, that's another thing is, what? Who are you going to believe? Who are you going to call? Virus busters? 3,700 baht for 60 days is really That's $2 a day, something like that. You know, $2 a day. So for $2 a day, something happens, you just, you turn one way and you get smacked by a bus, or a motorcycle happens to run into you. You know, um, listen, Duke Nukem, all I know is this. Are you a doctor? If you're a doctor and you're a virologist, please let me know. If you're not, you're just another guy just like me on YouTube spouting out information that, you know, you're not sure of. I'm going to friendlies, man. Any of you, I don't know what friendlies are. What are you talking about? It's like, let's spread out all the information that we can. We all know what's happening. We all know, hey, if you're 32 years old, you're not going to die from the virus. Oh, yeah. If you've already been vaccinated, you're not going to die from it. Oh, yeah. It's all bullshit. Nobody knows. None of you guys know. Even the doctors don't know. They know a little bit. That's it. Yeah, I'm tired of this bullshit. Honestly, I'm really tired of it. I'm looking forward to going to Chiang Mai. And where was it my wife said she wanted? Well, she's been wanting to go to Khao Sok. So I have a feeling that may be the next place after Chiang Mai, because they have trekking, which she likes to do, and I like to do it as well. But they also have some good places to kayak, and I think they have some good rafting as well. So I think that's the next place. So hopefully that'll be in late January or sometime in February. Well, it's easy to say that, oh yeah, come on, man, you know what the truth is. Half the time, nobody knows what the fucking truth is. Come on. Seriously. And, it's like, I look at it like this. It's the Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt relationship quandary, if you want to call it that. Brad Pitt cheated on her. He's a dog. He cheated on her with Angelina Jolie. You don't know how everything went down. You know what I mean? Half the time, the people who are reporting this shit are guessing. It's hearsay, whatever. Now, maybe he did. I'm not saying he didn't. The point is that, maybe he dumped Jennifer Aniston, and the next day he was like, man, Angelina Jolie is looking really good today. I want to bang her. I'm going to see if I can bang her. You don't know. You got to get real, man. Well, I wouldn't sneak up on me, all right? Don't sneak up on me. I wouldn't recommend doing that. You might get elbowed in the face. Come up face to face, that's a little different story. But come up from behind me, that's probably not the best thing to do. I accidentally elbowed a girl in the face once, many years ago. She would always come in and sneak up behind me and poke me in the ribs to tickle me or something like that. She was she was selling ad space in the Yellow Pages, and she would come in every once in a while. And I was running this little print shop, and I told her, don't do that. And one day, she did it, and I turned and whap, I elbowed her right in the face, and I felt terrible. But I was like, are you all right? She's like, oh, I'm all right. As she wiped the blood from her nose. And what am I going to say? Well, I told you so, honey. Yeah, and at this point, does anybody really believe all the data that comes out? Because half the time this place says that this data it shows that you'll die from this. And then the next study comes out and says, well, this data shows that you won't die from the very same thing. So you really have to do your research. Eight booster shots later. Well, let's hope that that's not going to be mandatory. She's wondering why they're not open. You know, today's a weekend, so they open at 10 o'clock. All right, let's go on here because there's some things that did happen that I wanted to talk about. Obviously, the nightlife, the shutdown is going to stay closed beyond the new year. I don't think that that's going to change. I thought about it a little bit. It's not going to change. They're not going to open up before the New Year's because they don't want to open up things and then there's some spike, however that may happen. And, you know, it ruins everything it ruins their plans. Now, apparently Khao Road has been a little busier at night. I know that Tree Town was really the only place that I saw, and there may have been a few others in some, you know, underground places and stuff. But Tree Town was the busiest place in Pattaya when I was there. Now, obviously, there is the music festivals going on there now. But going to Tree Town and drinking out of a paper cup or, you know, having a bite at 7-Eleven is, you know, it's just another thing. And they're talking about changing the test from the PCR to the antigen. I hate to say it. I know that it's like, well, it's better, and it is a step in the right direction. I do believe that. However, I don't think things are going to be considered back to normal until you get rid of all this stuff, because I'm sorry, wearing a mask out in public, walking around, unless you're doing it because the air quality is complete shit, is not normal. Having something stuck up your nose just so you can get into the country is not normal. Until that happens around the world, you know, now is not the best time to travel. That's why, hey, I'll travel to certain places in Thailand. I don't want to travel anywhere else right now out of the country. So at least January 16, the bars and the pubs, the nightlife venues they're gonna be shut. And I feel sorry for the people who got bars and pubs and karaoke's and other kind of entertainment venues. Alcoholic drinks have been allowed since November 1st in Bangkok, Krabi, Phang and Phuket. However, in Pattaya, no, you're not allowed to, even though if you want, you can find places to get the booze. I'm not saying you should do that, but I know for a fact it's not all that difficult. Chanthaburi has been removed from the list of dark red zone provinces, which is great because Chanthaburi is one of the places that I wanted to go. Apparently they have some great rivers. Well, the river there and the rafting and the canoeing and the kayaking there is supposed to be very, very good. And I just want to get a couple of days under my belt. The last time I went kayaking was in Khao Sok, and that was a couple of years ago. So, or maybe it was Kokut, I don't know. I'm not sure, I don't remember. So also in Chanthaburi, there's no more curfew, which is something that's a big positive. Let's see here. Well, let's take one thing at a time, because yes, the climate could be something that they use to continue this kind of shackling, but we'll see. Have I ever tried yoga? Well, a little bit, but to be honest, stretching, yoga's great, and I'm not opposed to it at all. But I know how to stretch. I know a lot of stretching because, I used to do it quite a bit. I used to be able to do the splits. That was a long time ago. But I know that stretching is something that, and I do stretch a little bit now, but I need to make that a big part of my exercise routine, which slowly but surely I'm doing a little bit more. And so is my wife and kids. They're getting back into it. The kids used to be religious about it, and with school, it's been a little more difficult. At one point, things would go back to normal, not anymore. Yeah, I don't know. The normal is our perception. Normal is our perception. What is normal? To me, human beings aren't meant to have masks on their face. If it saves your life, okay, but I don't really think that at this point we need to think that way. Because why can I come into a Starbucks here and there's somebody sitting right here? If they're sitting right next to me, they're sitting right in front of me, they're sitting right across from me. I'm at a restaurant. The other day I was at a restaurant with Jono and Billy. We're all sitting there right across from each other. We got people all throughout the place. Now the ventilation, I don't know, doesn't seem to be much better than anywhere else. And I understand that some pubs and some bars are poorly ventilated, but come on. That's all I got to say. Come on, man. Stop being so anal about it. You can say, oh, they've done a great job. I think it would be the same whether they really, I think things would be the same if people were drinking or not drinking. I think they just push it too far. Listen, I gotta say something now. We've been on almost an hour. Please do me a favor, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and consider contributing. I am gonna put something up. I believe it'll be in the Buy Me a Coffee, or it might be through Stripe, I don't know, where it's specifically funds that are specifically set aside for this expedition that I want to do. And one thing that's good is that Longhorns will be going back to the United States in a little bit, and he'll be coming back before the next season. And so we may be able to get, or I do think we'll be able to bypass any duties when it comes to bringing in a raft, and that's a hell of a lot of money. So, I don't know what they're going to charge. And somebody, like I've said this a couple times, somebody did say, oh, you don't have to pay duties on rafts and canoes and stuff like that. That's not true, because I checked, and you do have to. And right on their pages, these manufacturers' pages, it says anything over 1,500 baht, you have to pay duties on. Any of their products, you have to pay duties on. So that's how that goes. So I guess, but the point is, don't forget to show the love and the support on my channel, because you guys are the ones who make it possible. If you don't like that, don't contribute. If you do, thank you. And there's a lot of people out there who do in this chat right now, and I appreciate that. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, we got all these names. Let's go over this real quick before I get back to Thailand. In round one, Chowderhead was the runaway favorite for the name of the vessel, 47%. 22% was SS Farang. Thank you very much, Mr. Andy. You're one of those regulars. I appreciate it. In the next round, Sabai Sabai was another one, and Maipan Rai was the next one. In the third round, it was Where You Go, like Pai Nai. You would write it in Thai. And then an American in Bangkok followed behind that. And in the final round, or the fourth round, Barista Queen was number one. Number two was Freedom. It's at about with 25%. And to be completely honest, what's going to happen is, the way that I'm going to work it is, I'll probably put in another round. So if you guys got other names, let me know. Stick them in the comments. Stick them in one of the comments on the other rounds here. I'll probably put another round up, and then I'll get the top ones, top two from each round. Put those up, and then the top three from those rounds, the highest percentages, I'll get the top three, and then I'll pick the number one name. I don't think I'm just going to go with the percentages, because I'll be honest, I don't want to name this vessel the Chowderhead. It doesn't look good going down. Although he's kind of funny. Oh God. Let's name it the Chowderhead. But anyway, I figured it out, just in a broad sense. And this trip is the big trip. I'm not even talking about the little one. I mean, going to Chiang Mai, going to some other places, it might cost $500, right? Between the rafting and all the other things, it could cost up to, say, 20,000 baht. Just depends. But I can tell you that it's about 5,000 baht for the trekking, and for a couple of rafting, a couple of runs down the river. So, if you figure out the rest of it, the transportation, it adds up. And if I take 4 or 5 trips before the big trip, it's quite a bit of money. And basically what I'm doing is, all the money that I have in savings, or that I have coming in slotted for savings, is going for this, so that I can do this, and then I can hopefully make some good videos from it, because that's the plan. Not necessarily streaming, but the trip alone is probably somewhere between, with the raft, is probably somewhere around $4,000 or $5,000, because the raft, depending on the one, the raft, the canoe, whatever it's going to be, is somewhere between about $1,000 and $2,000. That's the budget. So anyway, enough of that shit. I've been looking at everything every day. I've been watching all kinds of videos. I've been trying to figure things out. I'm working on it. Just bear with me. But at the end of the month, I'll be in Chiang Mai. I'm not sure if it'll be November 25th, November 28th. I don't know yet, but I'm waiting on my wife. If it was me, the ticket would have been bought already, and I would have everything squared away. But like just today, she's like, what hotel are we going to stay at? She's like, we should stay out away from the city. And I'm like, just relax. Let me handle it, all right? All right, honey, this is what I do, So, all right, what is this here we're looking at? Yeah, all right, here we go. Tourism reopening may lose momentum. May lose momentum as government pivots back to public health priorities. There you go. Failure by Thailand to relaunch the entertainment and nightlife industry in December will temper the momentum of the November 1st reopening, and will be particularly disastrous for Pattaya, and also, I would say to a lesser extent, Phuket and even Chiang Mai. and even Hua Hin. The fallout from the annoying problems with the Thailand pass system is also about to hamper enthusiasm. Oh, my two bot live. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I appreciate it coming from you very much. So thank you. Thank you for my two bot or my 10 Australian. Choke D. All right, let me see here. There are indications the government is moving back towards an emphasis on public health safety as a decision looms on further liberalization of the ongoing reopening of the country to foreign tourism. Obviously, the decision has been made to keep these bars and pubs and entertainment venues shut until January 16th, and there's no guarantee that they're going to allow them to open on January 16th. Hopefully they will, but what if they don't? What's the point of that? You know, I have a big sister in the, what is this? Let's see here. Hang on here. Let me take 1 second here. I need to look at something if I can. There we go. No douchebags allowed. I have a big sister in the Kook Min Bank. Kook Min Bank? What's a Kook Min? Kook Min? Kook Min, I don't know what. You mean Krung Bin? What are you talking about? She says that nothing will change until April. Next meeting is at the end of March, but each country can decide for itself until then. I don't know what you're talking about. Decide about what? All your letters, are your letters fake? No, definitely not. They are not. Thank you very much, Mr. Lee. Choke D to you. I appreciate that. I've been asked that question quite a bit. Are your letters fake? You know, I don't get letters anymore, and I had thought about writing my own letters and then reading them, and I thought, I just can't do it. It's not me, man. I don't write that shit. Now, I do believe some of those letters were either written as, and I knew this going in, they were either written as just complete horse shit because somebody wanted me to read them, or some of them were just to get me going or just to have me read them or to see if I'll read them. But I do believe some of them were indeed true and the people were indeed a bunch of knuckleheads. So, you know, globally not Thai related. Yeah, I don't know what Kook Min is, if it's, you know, doesn't really matter here. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Hello, Songkran. Hello, Songkran. Hello, Father. Songkran, will it happen this year? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Yeah, I don't know much about Korea. I've only been there twice. And, yeah, you know, I really wasn't there. I think I was there 2 weeks. Once I was there for I was in Jeju for a boxing convention, and the other time I was in Seoul for a couple of days, and then I went in once for a layover, and I was there for like 10 hours. But yeah, so I don't know very much about knucklehead is underused in this PC world. You know what? I gotta tell you. I gotta tell you. Somebody sent me a video about these women being put in their place in the United States because they you know, they came off with this, oh, you can't say that, I'm offended, look at you, you're sexually harassing me, and those kind of things. And my first thoughts are, Jesus Christ, these chicks have no life. I hate to tell you this. If you're spending all your life worrying about that shit, if you're spending all your life on YouTube, period, or you're spending all, especially if you're spending all your life on YouTube. Now, if your job is YouTube, okay, maybe that's a little more understandable. But if you're just some guy or girl who just sits around and all they do is watch YouTube, and especially if you're one of these dumb shits, and that's what they are, no life, sad motherfuckers who does nothing but troll people. You're a sad piece of shit. I mean, really, get out of your head. Go for a walk or something. Get away from the computer. Delete YouTube from your phone or whatever it is, but don't be a sad fuck. But what really got me was that these women actually believe their own bullshit. And I think there was one where the guy was like one guy was telling the girl that he sided with them. Hey, I'm for you. I believe in your cause. And the girl was telling him to fuck off. And so then she hit him, and so he hit her back. And then I think he hit her with, supposedly he hit her with what are those, the like, you know, the prop bottles. I don't know if anything was real or what the deal was. But she went down and acted like, thank you very much, Henry. Appreciate that. Choke D. But she went down like a sack of, you know, potatoes and acted like she was knocked out. And quite frankly, I don't give a shit if she was knocked out or not. I mean, what are you hitting a guy for? Why is it okay for a woman to hit a man or a woman to say things to a man and belittle him, but when he fights back, oh, it's not okay? Now, I'm not talking about, you know, you're 8 foot tall and 380 pounds of solid muscle, and you got some woman who's, you know, 4'11" and 85 pounds, and she tries to smack you. I'm not saying that you gotta, you know, punch her across the room. That's not what I mean. But, you know, if anything, you restrain the woman and you call the police. I mean, that's what a civilized society is supposed to do, and then something's supposed to happen. Now, the police would probably laugh, which they shouldn't do. But anytime if I try to hit you, I just come up to you and hit you. You haven't said to me, let's go, come on, well, let's go right now. I'm gonna kill you or something like that. That you have not threatened the person. That person has not threatened you. You don't have the right to just go up and crack the person, as tempting as it might be. And so these women are doing this stuff in these videos, and I just can't believe. I'm like in shock. I see this and I'm like, I would be the guy who's going, what the fuck, honey? What are you on? You've been smoking crack, or what's going on with your brain? You need to, like, do a reset. You know. So I don't get the whole PC movement, and you know, why is it okay for a woman to? I do know a guy. Well, I don't know him anymore. I haven't talked to him in many, many years. But I used to work with a guy, and I used to talk to him every once in a while. He's a Mexican guy. He worked his way up from the bottom at the company. It was a spa company, and you could probably look it up and find out everything. The place was Cal Spas, and they were a pretty big place. And he was I don't know how old he was. He was maybe 30 or something like that, and the woman was maybe 40. But he worked his way up from the bottom and was like running the factory. He was very well known, and you know, I didn't get to talk to him too much, but I did talk to him a little bit. And she was like the right-hand woman of the man, the guy who was the owner of the company. I know how that sounds, but she was the personal assistant. She was the go-to girl, and so she was very high up in the company. She had a lot of power, and after I had left the company, he sued the company because she was sexually harassing him. And he got tired of it. And it wasn't, she was like, you either screw me or you lose your job. And I think she was on, they were on Oprah, or he was on Oprah or something like that. I forget, it was one of those, shows. It wasn't like Jerry Springer or something. Not that that's any worse or better. But, yeah, I mean, he sued and he won. And, I was like, wow. That was the first time, that's really the first time and one of the only times I've ever seen that happen, where the guy gets sexually harassed and he sues and wins. So, you wanna read something, go look for that. I don't know, I haven't, I was just thinking of it because it's been a long time since I worked there. But, anyway. PC movement is a tool of communism. I don't know if that's the case, but hey, I'm all for, if a guy comes in and he's like, hey baby, you're looking hot today. Hey babe, hey, and she's married, and she's like, listen, in this office, I'd appreciate it, we're at work, and I'm a married woman, I don't appreciate you saying that to me. You need to stop. And if the guy continued, then she says, this is the last time I'm gonna tell you, you don't need to call me, big titties or whatever it might be, hottie. And then if he doesn't stop, then she files a complaint. Okay, I understand that. That's understandable. I don't see that there's a problem with that. However, if a guy comes in and he tells the woman, oh, Sandy, you look nice today. And what was it, what was that show that I saw? I'm trying to think of the show where I think it was a TV show, where the guy, there was a woman coming from the Parks Department, the National Parks Department, and the guy called her like hun or something like that. And she said, my name is not hun, it's officer. And then he proceeded to save her from like a bear. And she was like, sorry about that. I didn't mean to, to be a bitch about it or whatever. Then things change, Anyway, moving on. Onward and forward and onward. Onward and upward. Let's see here. There are fears that a continued ban on bars and entertainment venues could impede the reopening process, with many bookings having already been made in anticipation of the nightlife springing back to life after November 1st. Now, I don't know, but, if I was going to go to Cambodia, or I was going to go to the Bahamas, or, Jamaica maybe, I don't know. Some of these places, would I base my travel on whether the bars were open and whether they were booze, whether or not booze was being sold? All right, let me see this here. Let's see here. Well, this is a good question. Do you think that Thailand's tourism industry is synonymous with its nightlife industry? And I'm going to say no, I don't think that. How important is the availability of alcohol or access to bars to your holiday in Thailand? A great deal, a lot, a moderate amount, a little, none at all. I'm going to say a little. That's it. Let's see if it gives me no, it doesn't give me the results. It doesn't tell me the results. But that's pretty interesting. That's a good question. How to you guys, I'm wondering Good morning, Soy Dog Cowboy. I'm wondering to you guys, is the nightlife industry synonymous with Thailand's tourist industry? That's a good question, and I'd like to know what you guys think. 35% nightlife. All right, I can see that. Dowlo, Soy Dog Cowboy, what do you guys think? No, it's not synonymous. Okay, it's an important part of it, really. You know, I think of it like this. I think if I'm taking my kids or I'm going with my wife to someplace, do I need to go to a bar or do I need to go to a place that serves alcohol in order for me to want to go? It has absolutely nothing to do with it. Now, we're not big drinkers. Now, if I look at some of my friends, one guy I know, he'd bring his own booze. You know, he brings his own, and you know who you are out there. He would bring his own booze. The other guys, they always find ways around it. Most people will find ways around it. Even on walking street, okay, but that doesn't really mean that it's imperative. Obviously, they're there and they know that it's not open. And walking street has been, at least, you know, when I was there not long ago, it was completely shut down. Good food, a few beers, and life is good. Yeah. I don't see why. I don't see why they're making it such a big deal. I've already gone on about that, but that's not the question. I do think that, you know, even me, I mean, listen, the other day when I met up with Longhorns and Jono, they had Guinness. Now, I wanted to drink the big glass, and I just thought, you know what? I don't want to drink the big glass. Let me just have the little glass, and then if I want another one, I'll get another one. I had the smaller glass. And you know what? That beer tastes phenomenal. I haven't had a Guinness in a long, long time, and it tasted so good. And it went well with the lunch. So it was very nice. Now, could I have done without it? Yeah, but beer is not an integral part of my lifestyle. But for people who, and I know several, and they weren't alcoholics or anything like that. And I know a couple that were fighters. One in particular was a very famous fighter, and he would go out and he'd sit there and have a beer. Even at the press conference, he would have a beer, and people were freaking out. And he's like, "What's the big deal? This is like, you know, in the old days, even the children drank ale. They drank a weaker ale than the adults, but they drank ale instead of water because the water was not pure enough." No, but it's nice to have a bottle of wine with dinner, but not a must-have. Yes, exactly. Good morning, Sakat. Oh, thank you. Hey, Mr. Scott. They can't say it, and it can't just be Scott. The Thais never can seem to get it right, although my wife does now, but after all these years. But most people, they don't say, hello, Scott. Most Thais, they say, hello, Scott. Hello, Scotland. Hello, Scottish you. You know, that kind of thing. Scott whiskey. So, there you go. All right, let me see this here. Where are we? Well, that was interesting. The questions there. Who are the baristas for today? The manager, Mr. Ken, and the barista, the only barista at this point is Tian. And this place has been, well, moderately busy. So they have been busy the whole time that I've been here. Let's see here. Outcry over problems with the Thailand pass system and continued prohibition on pubs, alcohol, and entertainment. may lead to a tapering of enthusiasm. Well, it may not just lead to it, it's already there. It's already here. The tapering is already, people already are like, well, what the hell? If I gotta get tested and I can't even drink and every little thing, every restriction is something that gives a reason for people not to want to come. Now, in some cases where they say, we require that you be vaccinated, some people may feel like, okay, well, you know what? It's great that they're vaccinated because I believe in the vaccinations and I believe that the place will be safer since everybody's vaccinated, right? So in some cases it works in the opposite direction, but many thousands of potential passengers are feeling overwhelmed and stressed when scrambling to attain entry QR codes while in danger of losing non-refundable plane flight costs and hotel bookings. I have not heard that from anybody that I know. Anybody that I know that's coming over here, and there's been half a dozen people. They're saying that they have had no problems with the Thailand Pass system. Okay, so, listen to this. Ugh. Factors for postponing the reopening of nightlife venues and businesses related to the entertainment industry are colder weather, the ongoing progress of the vaccination campaign, and end-of-year holiday movements of the population. Thank you, Gennaro. Chokdi, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Now, let me see. What was the Coronavac? What was a Coronavax or something like that? I don't think this is what it was. There was that website that I had, not the world meters or whatever. I can't remember what it was, but it was basically telling us what percentage of the population had been vaccinated. And I believe Thailand is already over 80%. See if I can find it. Oh, covidvax.live, that's what it is. Oh, I thought it was 70, yeah, it was 70%, right? So let's see here. It's not 70, it's not yet 70%. What's the deal here? Let me see here. 84 million plus. At this rate, Thailand could have 70% of people vaccinated in 22 days, or by December 5th. So they're at 64.37% right now. Anyway, for what that's worth. Chokdi, Gennaro, Chokdi, everybody who has been so generous, I appreciate it. You had your Moderna booster. Wow. You know what? I've been telling myself, I gotta call the place that I got vaccinated at and see, well, when can I get my booster? And I've been, for the past week, I've been saying I'm gonna do it, and I just haven't done it. So I'm going to have to do it this week, but let's see here. See, here's more of this. National Security Council chief says securing borders is a key factor in maintaining the reopening process, which, okay, I understand. They don't want the Burmese coming in here who are unvaccinated and somehow, getting other unvaccinated Thais to test positive, passing it along. Reports of busy bars in Bangkok. There have been reports of busy bars on the Sukhumvit and Khao San Road areas of the city since the reopening last week, although the current regulations only stipulate a lifting of the alcohol ban for restaurants where food is being served. A wider reopening of bars and the entertainment industry had been predicted for December, but it is now slated for January 16th. Pattaya sees no real benefit from the reopening at this point, except for a promise with increased bookings for December. This may now be under threat or delayed. I think Pattaya has, I think they prospered a little bit in the last month because of this. But what do I know? Just what I saw, it didn't look as bad as it looked several months ago. All right, let me read some of these messages here. I'm about to find out how the Thailand, what is this? How the Thailand pass work. Who would Thais say? I mean, what would Thais say? Andy, Andrew, Andreas? Well, I think they would say Andy. Kun Andy. I'm about to find out how it works. Have my Moderna. Da 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 da. Hey, been meaning to ask you, is Alex still playing guitar? He is. Yes. Thank you very much for asking. Dallo, that would be a bonus. Da 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 da. Boosters are half doses. So that cowboy will get ours early 2022. I need to get my shingle shot. I keep putting that off. Shingle shot, really? Well, should I let this one go through? I guess. There you go. We'll let it go through. I don't know that it was him, though. I don't know that it was the prime minister. I mean, you know, he may have his hand in all the different pies, but at the end of the day, I think there are various reasons why they don't allow Pattaya to sell booze there. And I'm going to tell you something. You know, obviously, you know, I'm not a huge drinker most of the time. Unless there's a little tequila involved on the right night, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, I know shingles are a nasty virus. I'll have to keep that in mind, Gennaro. But I do think that more so than Bangkok, and I could be wrong, I'm just guessing, but I'm going to say that when Pattaya opens up 100%, the bars are open, booze is allowed to be sold legitimately, no paper cups, you know, none of this throw it in a Coke can or a paper cup or any of this stuff. That place is going to erupt. Now, I could be wrong, but that's just what I think. And I'll tell you why I think that. Because even at Tree Town, it seemed like the vibe was, hell yeah, let's drink, let's party, let's have a good time. And it was tame compared to some of the places that I've seen in the past in Pattaya. But I think, just imagine, you got people, they want to party. People that live there, people that are visiting. You go to Pattaya, just my opinion, but you go to Pattaya if you're gonna, Pattaya, you go there if you're a tourist. You go there to have a great time. You go there to party. You go there, you know, at least in the case of some men, they go there to chase skirt, to grab a girl here or there, or everywhere. But you go to Pattaya to have a good time. You're not going there to lay on the beautiful beach. Oh, wow, it's so nice. That's not why people go there. They go there to have a great time. They're not going there to go to the sanctuary of truth. You know, they're not going there to, oh, let me go, you know, I'm going to go fishing. And that's not why they go there. They go to places like, they go to Phuket for that. Okay? And many other places in Thailand. They go to Pattaya to party. You walk down Beach Road. Well, there was beer bar after beer bar after beer bar after beer bar. You go at night, you go to the same places, you go down Walking Street, you go into the clubs, you go into the pubs, you go into the go-go's. That's why people go there. So until that happens, it's gonna stay. The place is simmering right now. It's like a volcano about to erupt. They know when they open that place up, people are gonna go nuts. And you know, who's to say that some of the bars will not get licenses to sell food and that kind of thing, or they don't have them already. All right, let me read some of these here. I keep thinking I won't get them, but you never know. Yeah. Scott, my girlfriend says she likes the color of your beard. Well, that's nice. Tell her thank you. I'm just, at this point, I'm lazy with the beard. I do a little trim here and there. The white is coming in more everywhere. And at some point, when it grows in a little more, I'll get it shaped and I'll get some beard oil and all that stuff. And then at some point, I'll just go, you know what? Today I feel like shaving it all off, and I'll shave it all off. I don't know. We'll see. People are chomping at the bit, exactly. And in Bangkok, maybe because, you know, Bangkok's a bit more spread out, and, you know, I just think that, you know, Pattaya is basically there to party. That's what it's there for. Bangkok, while it has some great nightlife and it is a party place at times, I think they know Pattaya is going to go nuts, man. If you remember, the first super spreader event was a bar. Yeah, well, you know, could that be coincidence? Yes. So weird to see how fast they tore down soy made in Thailand. I go for the temples. Sure you do. Gennaro, come on, man. You can bullshit it. You can bullshit a bullshitter some of the time, but you can't bullshit them all of the time. Or you can bullshit some of the people some of the time, but you can't bullshit a bullshitter ever. If all restrictions were off again, tourism would flourish. Now, the numbers might go up, but guess what? I don't think it would get that bad. And what happened to learn to live with it? Insomnia, Climax. I never was a big fan of those places for whatever reason. I have gone to those places. I mean, you know, we're going back a ways now, but like, and I never really liked the place at the bottom of the Grace Hotel. I never liked those, but I preferred, if any place, I preferred Therme better than any of those places. Late at night, you know. Hello, 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 hello. Hi, hey, ho, he. Hi, bye. Hi, see ya. Hello, goodbye. I say that to the Thais a lot as I walk by. Hello, goodbye. See you later. Now they're opening up in about 20 minutes here, 25 minutes. I gotta go back home, see what's going on with Odie. What is Longhorns up to? Longhorns, you know, he's doing the usual. He's you know, having his coffee. He sees his girl once in a while. He has a good meal. Sometimes he goes and sees Jono. Sometimes he, you know, comes and sees me. You know. Hot Tuna Club. Yeah, that place was, when I walked by the other day, that place was completely, I mean, talk about empty. I don't know. I wonder if they're going to go back into, if they're going to open back up. You know, they had the one guy, what the hell was his name? Lamb Morrison. I always wanted to get my kid to be able to go up there and play a song with him or something, you know, but Seven had the opportunity. I believe there's a lot of people like us that are a bit cautious and rather wait until mid 2022. You say hello, I say goodbye. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I do think there's something to be said about being cautious. Patience is a virtue. Patience is, I think, a good thing in this case, because who knows? Let's say that you come over and you go, okay, I'm going to come over, December 20th, and I'm going to stay for a month. And you're here, and then things go crazy after the new year, and all of a sudden there's an explosion in cases, and they lock it down again. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they're going to go as extreme if something happens. But then you could be stuck here, or you could be stuck with all kinds of issues with them, you know. Although, all in all, I think they've been pretty good with people as far as their extensions and things like that, but, you know. For a giggle, I did check some prices, big numbers. I've heard that from numerous people. You say hello, I say goodbye. Let's do a walk, Scott. Let's do Bangkok to where? You can do the walk yourself, Ron. No offense. Download plus flights. I can't super chat because I nuked my VPN after I got... Okay. That's life, you know? Plenty of VPNs out there, plenty of other ones. There's alternatives. I got two VPNs, and I don't always use them, but, you know. Yeah, prices of everything have been going up. And in the United States, I was talking to my mother, and she was talking about the price of plywood and how it went from like $15 a sheet to like $86 a sheet. I'm like, what? How they get away with that? Talk about price gouging. But they know if they were to sell out at the cheap price, and then they have no ability to get more, they're losing out in the long run. So if they raise the price, then they're making that money up. You know what I mean? So the prices come down now, but not back to where it was before. Build back better. How about we just do things correctly? You know? Try to do things correctly. I think that's a better way to go. Build things the right way the first time. If you got a job to do, what is it? If you got a job to, you better do it well. Yeah, something like that. 8 hours, that's nothing, man. Now, I gotta read this. The Thai Prime Minister, and I have had my experiences with this. The Thai Prime Minister urges moviegoers to stand to respect the king during the Thai national anthem. He exhorted moviegoers not to abandon a decades-old tradition of standing in mass to respect the country's powerful king during the royal anthem that is played before every film. The comments came as King Maha Vajiralongkorn 69 was reportedly in Germany on his first documented trip abroad since pro-democracy protests last year morphed into once unthinkable open criticism of the monarchy, including questioning his prolonged absences from China. This is from Reuters. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha expressed concern. Sometimes are now afraid to stand for the royal anthem, the latest sign of change in the kingdom where the monarch is constitutionally enshrined to be held in revered worship. I'm concerned for those who want to stand but are afraid to because they don't want to get bullied. It takes bravery to stand up, he said in a speech at the National Defense College. Uh, all I'm going to say is that I have seen and heard about very few people standing and very large numbers of people, or percentage-wise, large numbers of people remaining seated for whatever reason, which I'm not going to get into. From LA, it's about 21 hours, yes. Well, Soy Dog Cowboy, you will be in the minority, if not the only person standing. That's what I'll say. Longhorns and numerous other people have talked to me about this, where not a single person was standing. And I saw that when I went to go see the James Bond movie. Nobody stood. I can tell you right now, I'm not going to say a word, to the people into the theater. 21 hours is a bitch of a flight. The longest I ever flew was about 44, 45 hours straight. I don't remember how many flights it was. It was like 4 different flights. And that was when I went from Bangkok to Guyana. That was a hell of a long flight. Although on the way back, I flew, I think one leg on the way I flew first class, and on the way back I flew, or business class, and then on the way back I flew one leg, which was I think it was Guyana straight to London, or it stopped in like Trinidad and Tobago or something like that. But that was first class the whole way back. I got lucky. And that was fantastic, because, man, what a difference it makes. Yeah, that was rough, man. And, I got there at like 2 in the morning. I got to Guyana like 2 in the morning. And the thing is, the guy that was there to pick me up, he's looking around for, I guess, some packages that he had shipped to him. I saw him walking around, and I'm like, I wonder if that's the guy, waiting for me or whatever. I just stood there, and finally, after he's done looking around for his packages, he comes up to me, and I was like, okay, great. All I want is some sleep. Just, take me to my hotel, which is what I did. Dallas to Sydney. Whew. Soy Dog Cowboy, believe me, it is. I'll talk to you about it later. When I first heard of it, I was a little bit surprised, and then I heard of it from somebody else, and then I wasn't surprised, obviously. And then when I was in the theater, because I don't go to that many movies, but I wanted to go that one. Yeah, I wasn't surprised at all, because of just prior experiences. All right, let me go on here, because I want to get this wrapped up here. The UK travel boss from the firm Exo Travel, Hamish Keith, speaking at a webinar, stated that tourists are more concerned about safety and whether or not Thailand is a safe destination. Wow. Okay, that's even that's not really all that surprising. All right, are you traveling to Thailand after November 1st? If I was a tourist, I would say no. If yes, when? Well, it's not yes, it's no. Are you familiar or confident you understand the new entry process for Thailand linked to Thailand Pass system? I'm gonna just err on the side of and say yes. Do you think it would be simpler or easier, bearing in mind the Thai government's duty to protect its citizens from COVID-19? Do you think it could be simpler? Yes. and that is bearing in mind the people's safety here. Thailand saw 40 million visitors in 2019 before the pandemic. Will it ever reach this level again? I'm going to say no. Now, maybe it will. How many do you think will visit in 2022? I'm going to say 10 million to 20 million. So there's some good questions there. Curious to know, what do you guys think about the number of people that are going to come here next year? It's got 0 to 1 million, 1 to 5 million, 5 to 10 million, 10 to 20 million, 20 to 30 million, 30 to 40 million, 40 million plus. I'm going to say 10 to 20. That's my go-to response. Oh, I don't know if you know this, but Vietnam welcomes first foreign tourist in nearly 20 months. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be 10 to 20 million. I'm just guessing, but maybe I don't know if it's anywhere between 1 and 10 million would seem a very safe bet. I'm going to just go for it and say 10 to 20, because maybe it'll hit like 10 million, but I don't think it's going to be 20. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near 20 million. I think maybe they're just barely going to hit 10 million. So yeah, Thailand welcomes the first foreign tourist in nearly 20 months. Korean and Japanese fully vaccinated passengers went to Nha Trang. You must show COVID vaccine certificates and negative pre-departure coronavirus test results. So far, about 32% of the Vietnamese population has been fully vaccinated. Travel will depend on value for money as many places go. Yeah, that is true. Maybe I'm going to have to say let's not get. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt and really think that things will take off here. But I mean, if you get 3,000, well, that's over 10 million, but. I think maybe 5 to 10 million is a pretty safe bet. That's my opinion. 5 to 10 million. Let's see, what is this here? Ooh. Is this more on the not standing up? Let's see here. Oh, yeah, it is actually. It says the Prime Minister was speaking to students at the National Defense College, and he's worried that royalists who choose to stand up for the royal anthem are currently afraid to do so. No comment. Better I don't speak. All right, now, in the Pattaya News, Chonburi warns everyone who went to a gentleman's club in Jomtien who went to a gentleman's club in Jomtien recently should take a COVID-19 test. Tony, how you going? Thank you very much. Choke D to you. Appreciate that. Let's see, what is it you're saying here? How long will it take when travel? when travel will be as easy as just showing vaccination card and not having the uncomfortable PCR test. I would assume that at the very least the country has to be fully vaccinated and the numbers have to be next to nil. I mean, you got like 50 something people dying, approximately 50, 60 people a day, and under 10,000 every day that test positive. I'm just going to assume that for the immediate future, those tests are going to remain. And definitely you're going to have to be vaccinated. Damn near anywhere you go in the world, you're going to have to be vaccinated. No vaccination, no entry. Like it or not. Niall, how you going? Hello, Niall. Hello, Tony. I've been watching too much of Seinfeld. It's my, they got 9 seasons, and even though they're pretty short, the episodes are short, they got some good stuff on there. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, 2 years, I would say I've probably missed at least 4 or 5. I don't travel as much as I used to, and but it would have been nice to go a couple of places, and I know that Longhorns would like to go to Japan, and Chucky wants to go to one of the stands, and I really would like to go home and see my parents, see my family. I don't know if any of those are going to come to fruition next year. I'm not counting on it. Did another pub crawl, hit 9 bars before the 9 o'clock cutoff, did well. Well, this is the other thing. I mean, people, they bitch and complain about, oh, the bars are closed, you can't drink, you can't go to the pubs. Come on, there are places. I mean, there are places that you can go to drink, and, even if you are a drinker and you really like to drink, it should not set you back. People who know a little bit or who take the time to figure it out will be able to drink without any problem. Now I have to tell you, I did have a Guinness the other day for the first time in a few years, and man, it went down so nice. I just love that beer. I should have got a big one though. I got the small one. I thought, I was gonna, and then I drank it, and then we were sitting there talking. I thought, I should get another one, and I just went, in a few minutes I'll get another one. And then I just didn't. How many times have you been back in the United States since you moved to Thailand? God, probably 6, something like that. I don't go like every year or every other year. Listen, Niall, come on. Don't complain to me because you got groped. What is this? What are we turning into PC Thailand now? Is that what the name of my boat's going to be called? Thailand PC? Hey, if we're allowed to proposition them, they're allowed to proposition us. That's the way it goes. I have to sneeze. I can feel it coming on. Although, I gotta say, I didn't particularly like, if you guys remember, I did not particularly like my Cambodia trip where I was walking across the bridge. I saw a monkey. I thought that monkey had came over and grabbed me, and it turned out it was this toothless old lady. Or actually, she probably wasn't that old, but she looked very old. She's probably like 30, but she looked about 60. And she was She didn't have any teeth. And she's giggling because she grabbed my ass. And I'm like, now, can you imagine me going to the Cambodian police going, she grabbed my ass. What's going on? I mean, they would just laugh. I dropped my rate for seniors. I thought you liked the older ones. But you have a limit. You have your standards. You don't go beyond a certain age. Duke, will you stop with all this fear-mongering shit? Come on, man. Who cares? Oh, she started choking and then she died. Yeah. Well, you know, you can always get the ones with dentures, Niall, if you want. They take them out, you know, there will be no teeth. No scrapage. Anyway, let me go on here. Oh, do I want to go on? No, I don't want to go on about that. Let's not talk about that. Let's see here. I'm not going to say anything about that. MRTA moves forward with the Phuket Light Rail. Light rail mass transit system connecting Tha Noon, just north of Phuket and Phang Nga, with the Phuket International Airport and continuing down the island to Phuket Town and terminating at Chalong Circle in the south of the island. Well, that's fantastic. How long is it going to take? Is it going to take like 2 years like they said here? I don't know how long this has taken and if they're on track or not. I really needed to research that. Again, I will say that now you're starting to be able to see signs that the SkyTrain is almost done here. Well, not almost done, or it's nearing, it seems to be closer to completion than ever before because they've got the rails up, they've got all kinds of stuff that's up now that you know, you haven't seen for, well, it's been way down on Lot Prow. Ramkhamhaeng is pretty much, I don't know if it's done, but, you know, I don't know what marks it as done when they're ready and they can run the train. But as I said a little while ago, they're starting to merge from Ramkhamhaeng down the street here to Lot Prow, and they have the little what the hell are they called? The horizontal concrete rails up. So you know that's great. All right, what is being said here? I don't even know what the hell is going on here. Thank you very much, Swedish 1982. I appreciate that. Keep it up. Up. Better than down. I like them, but my quote is my bond. Oh, God. Don't worry, honey. I guarantee 100%. Guarantee. If I give out freebies for seniors, the millennials will be expecting the same. You know how entitled they can be. Oh, God. It can't be further from completion. Yes, I understand that, but what I mean is it's much, much closer to the end now. And it seems like all of a sudden they got a lot done. So it looked, I mean, they actually, and I showed this the other day, I'm not going to move the camera right now because I didn't bring my tripod today. I don't know what the hell, I remembered everything, and then I said, oh, I need to make sure that I bring my tripod. And then I just left and didn't bring the tripod. So I'm using a Starbucks cup to prop the phone up. But there's over the walkway that takes you across the street from from the mall to Happy Land Center, they now have the track. The poles are up now for the track, and then immediately to the right there's another one. So yeah, soon come. It will be done soon. And Gennaro, if you're still out there, I will be going over to Happy Street and the Coconut Girl probably this week. Not probably, I will this week, okay? That's a promise, and there's a reason why. You know why? What the reason is? I buy these little colognes. You know, they're the samplers. They're about this big. You can bring them on airplanes and that kind of stuff. I buy them all the time. Not all the time. I mean, I buy like a bottle or two, and they last me for 6 months or whatever, and then I buy another bottle, maybe two, and they're like 300 baht, 350 baht. And that way you get to change your colognes, you get to see which ones you like, you know, so that you're going to buy a bigger bottle. Anyway, the places upstairs, they're gone. There was like 5 places. Slowly but surely it was down to like 3, then it was 2. Now they're completely gone. There was, however, across the street, there was a couple of places in Happy Land, right in the entrance, that sell the same thing. So I'm gonna have to go over there because I'm just about out of cologne now. And yeah, so when I'm over there, I will go to the Coconut Girl. Is all the work done on Sukhumvit Road? Let me think. I don't really remember. Where are you speaking of specifically? Because I don't remember of any work being done currently. I was just down there. I don't remember seeing anything. Yeah, I think it's all done. If there was any being done, I haven't seen any. Took Hanoi to build a 13-station train, 10 years to build it, just opened up. I have not yet been to the, what the hell's the name of the new place? What the hell, God, I can't even remember the name of it. Bangsu, thank you. Blanking out there. I haven't been there yet. And, you know, I don't think I'll be going to Chiang Mai by train. Although I actually would like to. Thing is the price is like the same as what it is to fly on like Vietnam Air or Air Asia. It's like the same price. They finished the sidewalk pavement. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I do not remember seeing anything that was still being worked on, and I've been through a couple different places on Sukhumvit and walked and driven by several places. So, yeah, it is big. It is big. I've been there before, but I never have been there and used the place and traveled from there. So that's another thing that might be in the future. But okay, I think it's good for Phuket to get a little light rail transportation, especially from the airport. Viet Air, yeah, Viet Air is good. I like them. I don't really like, not me, I don't look and go, oh my God, look at these stewardesses, they're so sexy. I don't ever do that. No, there are some that are more, listen, Viet Air has some attractive women working on them. So does Singapore. What is it, Cathay Pacific. I'll tell you one airline that I remember as having rather portly women working on, and what was the one, KLM had nice looking women. Air France, I don't remember about Aeroflot. But American Airlines and Northwest had some of the older, larger stewardesses, air hostesses, air waitresses, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, they had some experienced women working on those. All right, so we got that out of the way. Let's see here. I have an unvaccinated friend. What is this? Let me read this here. What about the old boy? Yeah, I'm wondering about Qantas. What's up with Qantas? Because it would seem that they might have some that are a little more experienced. Ava is always the hottest. I do remember Ava Air as having some good-looking ones, but it's been a while since I've flown with them. Japan Air had some nice-looking one. Vietnam Air has a new budget airline. I thought it was Viet Air, but there was another one a while back that I remember. And Hong Kong has a lot of or several different budget airlines. The illogical rules, mandates are all you need to see to know the whole thing is a charade. An unvaccinated friend, he's a bartender. He serves the vaccinated customers 8 to 10 hours, but in his break time, he has to leave the bar. He probably is. He's wearing a mask the whole time, right? There was a Noke Air, and I heard it went out of business, and then I checked, and they were still in business. Noke Air. Let me see something here. It says Bangkok. Ooh, that's cheap. Bangkok to Chiang Mai, 699 baht, and they are flying. Wow. Well, there you go. Thank you very much, because you know what? I forgot all about them. Honestly, I forgot all about them. I've used them. I like them. The stewardesses there, they're all right. I mean, it's hit or miss. Kind of like Air Asia. Every once in a while you see one on Air Asia and you go, damn. She's a stewardess or whatever. What do you call them? Flight attendants? I'm not up with the PC stuff, and I don't have the energy to remember this stuff. So in my day, they were called stewardesses. And I'm trying not to be cute and say air waitress or air waiter out of respect, just because they're not waiters, I'm not even going to get into that Duke Nukem. I know personally, I do know personally of one Cambodian girl who was a flight attendant, and she was a gamer, we'll say. Qantas sucks. Oh man! But on Noke Air right now, 699 baht each way. Let's see if I can catch the. Let's see if I can catch that. Let's see how much it works out here. You don't get a checked baggage. If you get checked baggage, it's more expensive. And I don't think I need checked baggage. I can do my backpack, and that's fine. I think my wife can do the same. Let's see here. All right. How come it's 20? What? Adult 2? No, adult 1. What are they talking about? I only want one person. What the hell are they talking about? Where'd they get 2 from? Edit, search. Anyway, it's not bad. 700 baht each. I mean, it's pretty cheap. All right, let's see here. Let's make sure. Oh, this is January 24th, though. Oh, now it went up. I changed it from 2 people to 1 person. It went up 200 baht for each way. So let me see around when I want to go. Bangkok. Okay, let's see here. November 6th and Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's more money. $1,400 baht one way, 1,400 baht another way, as high as 2,579 baht. So, you know, if you're buying a couple of weeks in advance, the savings is not that great. But there are better prices than that right now. So I like using the Qantas lounges and their points to book hotels. Yeah, I mean, I used to use Thai Airways lounge. I was able to go into the lounge, and I had Northwest for a while. And it's nice when, you know, you don't feel like sitting out with all the other people in the main area of the airport. Fly Scoot Airways. Does Scoot fly domestically? I might as well check now. I'm on a roll here. Bangkok to, what is it, CNX? Is that Chiang Mai? Yeah, it is. Let's see here. All right. So man, their prices are not very good. If I can go on the 23rd, 1,100 each way. Wow. Anyway, I'll figure it out. I just wanted to look, and it was interesting to check on the prices on Noke, and to look at Noke. Yeah, I mean, all that's good. The only thing I really care about right now is going to Chiang Mai. I've heard of Scoot before. I've never used them. But they don't have, let's see here. It doesn't look like they got any, yeah, they don't have, they got Phuket, but that's it. So that's a no-go. It'd have to be Viet Air or one of these others. And actually, Viet Air, the price has gone up, so, you know, I better get with it. I better buy the tickets soon. I better get on my wife about it, because, you know, she always does that. Oh, it's only a couple hundred baht more. I'm like, yeah, okay. Multiplied times 4. Think of it that way. I don't even know if, does Bangkok Air even go there anymore? No. I guess you gotta go this way first. Oh yeah, they do. Let's see here. Of course, they're probably gonna be more expensive just because it's Bangkok Air. Let's see. Yeah, pre-flight notice, blah, blah, blah. Let's see how much. Oh, it's not that bad, actually. You can get it for 1,120 baht one way, which is pretty good for Bangkok Air. That's pretty damn good. And then on the way back, 1,120 baht, although tickets are going fast. So anyway, for about $100, which, you know, when you're used to paying 500 baht each way or 700 baht each way, you know, could be better, but what are you gonna do? All right, so let me see here. What is this? Oh, here's a question. One more question. Are you going to return to visit Thailand after November 1 or within the next 12 months? What do you think? Is that in the future? I know it is for a couple of people, like Andy. I knew you would. But what about everybody else? Is there anybody else that's planning to come in the next year? I mean, even like Soy Dog Cowboy, if you're still listening. Yes, if I have freedom. Johnny, okay. That's interesting. Well, if you guys do come over, try to come around the same time, and hopefully we can have a big meetup. There are some people here. We did have a little bit of a meetup in Pattaya, and there was a couple other guys that, you know, they tried to be around, but we didn't manage to get together. But even if we could travel, no. Okay. Goddess loves spring in Victoria. We'll be there mid 2022, fall 2022 for Soy Dog Cowboy, June 10th to August 10th. Okay, interesting. So, you know, I guess, you know, if you're watching any stream or videos on a regular basis having to do with Thailand, my guess is you're probably somebody who enjoys Thailand, you really like Thailand, you love Thailand, whatever, but you really would like to come back. Despite some of the shortcomings, misgivings, whatever, I'm packing while listening. That's interesting, packing while listening. Longhorns will be going home, but he'll be coming back. I think he said somewhere around May or something like that, but it just depends, give or take a little bit, which is perfect for me because it gives me a little bit of time to do some adventurous shit. Anyway, where are we at for time here? We're at 2 hours and 20 minutes. So we got about 10 minutes left. So yeah, that's the big question. Are people going to be coming here? Most people are saying yes. Are you familiar with or confident that you understand the new entry process for Thailand linked to the Thailand pass system? I don't think it's rocket science, to be honest. Oh, here's a good one. Do you think it could be simpler or easier, bearing in mind the Thai government's duty to protect its citizens from COVID-19? So do you think that they could still make it easier while maintaining the safety standards? Could it be easier? Personally, I'm going to say yes, it could be. Because I think some of this stuff that they're doing is redundant or nonsense or whatever, but what do I know? I am but a lowly pharaoh, you know? I'd like to go to South Korea, Taiwan, Japan next year as well. I'm not in any big hurry, you know, really. For me, I'm not. I don't know why. My desire to travel internationally is not at its peak. We'll put it that way. I don't know why. And, you know, I say it every once in a while, but I mean, I've traveled quite a few places in the last year and a half, and you know, I'll be traveling to another place in a couple of weeks, and in the following month or month after that, another place. So, you know, we'll see what happens, but sometimes it's good to get out of the country, and then when you come back, you enjoy it, and you know, you enjoy it even more. Thailand first, then we'll see what happens with the rest of the world. Yeah, yeah. I mean, really, the only place that's important to me, and it's not something I have to do immediately, but that is to go back to the United States. I don't have to go back, but I would like to. You know. Other than that, I mean, Japan, okay, yeah, whatever. Been there. It would be nice to explore it some more, but been there, and it's not a big deal. And as far as the stands go, you know, I can take them or leave them. I still would like to go to a couple of places in the African continent. Yeah, hopefully one day that'll happen. But you know, this has put us back a couple of years. It's put everybody back a couple of years. You know, you're kind of stuck unless you feel like spending an arm and a leg and going through heaps of hoops. Phu Hang district is nice. My wife comes from there. I've only been to Seoul and Jeju. I like Jeju, but man, it was so windy and the waves were so gnarly. I mean, just looking down from the hotel, you could see the ocean. It was a great view and everything, but the waves were massive. And it was like, don't go down on the beach because you might not make it back. One of those kind of things. But I did have a friend who he teaches in a university there. He's an American guy who's been there for quite some time, and I knew him before I went to Korea. And he showed me around a little bit. We spent a little bit of time together and everything. It was all right, you know. I was there to work though, so it wasn't like I had a lot of free time. I only had a little bit of free time. And all right, so any more names that anybody wants to put forth? I know this is getting to be too much now, but if anybody has any other names, tell me now, and I'll put them in the next list. If I can come up with another 5 names, I'm going to put them up, and then that's the final. That's it. There's no more names going to be entered. And I do have a place that can. One of the places shut down. That actually they're the ones who put the lettering on my helmet for Hong Kong. It says press. They put the letters on there. But there's another 1 or 2 places right just in the mall alone that are capable of doing it. And you just basically you get the raft when it's uninflated. Or maybe you get it when it's inflated, I don't know. And you can put it on yourself. You just maybe get some chalk and mark it out, make sure it's straight, or you get somebody to do it for you, the place that's cutting the vinyl or whatever. But that's one of the last steps, and I'm still putting together a list of everything that I'm going to need, everything I'm going to have to do, just so that, it's something to follow and see, how do things turn out. Can I do this? Because for every 10 trips or journeys that I plan out, probably 5 or 6 they never happen, and then out of the remaining, say 4, maybe I succeed at 1 or 2 and I fail at the rest. So hopefully I can pull this off. I can do something that will. Hopefully I can do it on a regular basis. That's the idea, not just a one-time deal. It would be nice to go down at least some part of the Mekong River, especially in Vietnam and in Vietnam, basically. I think that would be a great trip, But one thing at a time, one step at a time, How many votes did an American in Bangkok get? Let's see, 36% of 77. So that's about, what? A little more than the third, which is 28, 29 would be a third. So probably 30 or 31 votes. No, it can't be that many. Where You Go got 40%, so that's about 29 votes. So I'm going to say it's about 26. I don't know that I like that name, to be honest. I mean, I could put it in Thai, and that would be kind of cool. I could put it in Thai and English. That would be kind of cool. I don't know, you know. I actually like, I'll be honest, the one that I like the best is Freedom. Because especially what's going on now, I think it's pretty appropriate. An American in Bangkok is kind of like, hey, look at me, I'm an American and I'm in Bangkok, or, you know, whatever. I guess I'm an American on the river. I don't know about that one, but it is kind of my brand, you know. So, but I like the Freedom one. That's my favorite, to be honest, out of all of them so far. And Barista Queen, my wife actually kind of liked that one, and she also liked Freedom. She didn't like Chowderhead. She was like, and she didn't like Mike and Ryan, Sabai. She's just like, boring, you know. And if anything, Chowderhead is not a boring name. I'll give you that. I liked the Illogical Logic, but it did not do very well in the poll. It got 5%, which is like 5 out of 112. 6. We all love freedom. You know, that's one way to think about it, yeah. An American in Bangkok Freedom Tour. Well, now that's a good name for like a shirt. I don't know if tour is the right word, but yeah, it might be. I don't know. Got to think about all this shit, you know. You know, with me, it's not like, I mean, I'll sit down for an hour or two and I'll do stuff, and I'll sit here and I'll research stuff. I'll look at my phone. Well, that's a pretty good one, actually. And then, you know, what happens is I'll be doing something and something pops into my head and I write it down. And then I check on it when I have a chance or whatever, you know. It's not like I'm constantly doing things for hours at a time. But, I mean, I watch a couple of the rafting videos, and to be completely honest, a lot of them are just garbage because they always put this music on. And sometimes I just want to hear... I want to hear the waves, you know. I want to hear people screaming. But a lot of them don't do that, you know. And so it's interesting to see all these different rafting trips, and I'm actually starting to lean towards a kayak or canoe as opposed to a raft. Otherwise, it has to be a fairly narrow raft because it may not be able to. May be some places that a normal raft won't be able to get through. Rap God's raft. Now that's not going to happen ever. Yeah. Well, that's something else to consider there, Andy. To put the URL. You know, or put like the YouTube logo and then put at American in Bangkok and American in Bangkok. That's another thing. You know, I mean, this is the whole thing. There's a lot of things to think about if I want to do it right. And I have to do one thing at a time because I'll get overwhelmed. First of all, I'm writing down a list. I have a list, and every day it grows, and it's basically divided up into definite needs, possible needs, wants and needs. You know, like a want that might be a need. So they're divided up into that kind of a list. And yeah, I mean, you know, it's very important to know areas of the river. It could mean the difference between life and death. And you know, I have to talk to people who I have to talk to people who really know the river, and I have to go on some trips down the river. And there are some multiple day trips. I may go on one this time. I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, kayaks are very agile. However, when you're loading up for a long trip, it's a little more difficult. But I brought the book actually. This is it right here. Living the Best Day Ever. And it's by the guy I told you about, Hendry Coetzee. Thank you, Dowlow. Thank you very much. It's by this guy, Hendry Coetzee, who got taken by a croc because he was on a canoe in the what was the name of it? It starts with an L. I always forget it too. Lacunga. Lacuga. I think it's Lacuga. Yeah, Lacuga. It's the Lacuga River. Anyway, you got to know the river, and you know, you got to have a little bit of experience. I'm hoping that maybe Longhorns, if he's listening, and I'll tell him this. Hopefully he'll go on at least 1 or 2 trips back home. He's pretty good at this kind of stuff, though. You know. All right, Andy, take it easy. $15 for one Heineken is not unusual there, huh? What? By the way, Dallo, Choke B. Anyway, that's a really good book. I've started and stopped it a lot, but I've got about that much done. And he was an interesting guy. I would have liked to, you know, like met him, hung out with him, picked his brain, but yeah, you gotta know. You gotta know where you're going, and you gotta do a little reconnaissance work, and you gotta have people that know the area. And there may be some areas where I may go, hey, listen, I'm gonna need somebody from your group that can help me with this, or help us with this. We may not be able to get through the place without any help, or it might be too dangerous, or, you know, there's all kinds of things to think about. So it's, you know, I do know that it may not be easy, but, you know, might as well have fun doing it. Half the fun is planning it, and half the fun is implementing it. So that's how that goes. But anyway, enough about that. If you got any other names, let me know. Leave a comment in this stream, or you know, in one of the polls or whatever, or just contact me. Paddle to the Amazon is a book. The guy paddles by canoe up a river in Canada, up the Mississippi, all the way up the Amazon. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I've read, there's another book, I think actually Longhorns has it, about canoeing the Congo. The guy canoed the whole distance of the Congo from start to finish. You really like this raft trip, don't you, Dallo? I love it, to be honest. I really like this idea. That's why I want this to become this, and I hadn't thought about it, but it really does go hand in hand. Because you're gonna have to see. There's gonna be some portages, and some will be in cities, and some may be in places where you're in the middle of nowhere. But the trekking aspect of it, and you know, being out in the wilderness and stuff like that. And I've done a lot more out in the wilderness than I have on boats, canoes, and that kind of thing. So I think it's something that could be a lot of fun, and it's something that I could do with the family once in a while. I could, like I said, I could go on different trips. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do. So I think it's a great thing, and hopefully it'll become an integral part of the channel. That's kind of what I want. So we'll see, but yeah, we'll see. You know, and then the part about the filming is something very important too, which there's a couple of channels. There's an Aussie guy. His name is Jesus Christ. What is it? Oh shit. Let me just see here. He's probably gonna pop up right away because I've been watching his stuff lately. Bo Miles. That's his name. Bo Miles. And he's an Aussie who has done various trips. One of them being he attempted to go. Let me see exactly what he tried to do. And you know, this is what I mean. Like, there's no shame in failing. If you're gonna try, I mean, you know, I think for some people that's half the battle. Think about all the people who they think about travel and they're, oh, I don't want to go to that place. Oh, no, it's too dangerous, or it's this, or it's that. And then the thought of moving to a foreign country for many people is just like, it's like frightening to people, you know? They're like, no, I don't want to be in that kind of I don't want to be out of my comfort zone. But let me see where the places that he went. I thought he had an about, journal, films, let's see. He went on Tanzania. He was Africa by kayak. In 2007, he attempted to paddle 4,000 kilometers from one side of Africa to the other. Starting in Mozambique, he continued along the southern African coast. Now just think about that. He's in a freaking kayak. Don't forget about the great whites, but think about everything else that he had to go through just being out on the ocean. He continued for allowing 5 months to complete the voyage, battling surf, deep sea swell, and too many days waiting for the wind. He only completed 2,000 kilometers of the original plan. But he also did a 650, this is pretty, I'm not talking about that, that's pretty badass. He did the Bass Strait, a small expedition party crossing from the Australian mainland to Tasmania in sea kayaks. He did that. And what was the other one that he did? He's done all kinds of stuff. Like he actually, where's Monash? Mr. Minaj, when you need him. He's apparently a teacher at Monash University. And what he did was he decided to do things a little differently. I guess he had the time to get there or whatever, and it took him, it was something like 90 miles or something. I don't remember exactly what the specifics were, but he walked to work, which took him like 4 or 5 days. So, you know, he does all kinds of stuff like that. So I may be a poor man's Bo Miles, but I'm gonna try, you know. Travel through Africa with a kayak still much more safe than one evening in the U.S. I don't know about that. I mean, you know, don't think that the U.S. is all that dangerous. I mean, it can be, yes. But, you know, I heard one of my buddies sent me a video about somebody who was robbed in their house of a large amount of money in Ecuador. And then I got another message where some woman that lived in Ecuador was robbed. And Okay, nobody wants to get robbed, but has anybody ever died or been robbed in Thailand or in America or in other parts of the world where people go to live? Of course. So would that turn me off from going to the place? No, I would check the crime rates. I'd see just how bad things are. And, if they are really bad, if the statistics show that it's that bad, then I would consider somewhere else. But I wouldn't put off one story or two stories. I wouldn't take one or two stories and just say, oh, I can't live there because I heard that somebody got robbed. I mean, then why live in Panama? Why live in Nicaragua? Why live in Belize? Why live in all these places? Why move anywhere then? Why not just stay in your house all day? And the other thing is, okay, so I don't know. Here is pretty safe, and I've carried rolls of cash before. It doesn't happen very often anymore, but usually, I don't have more than a few thousand baht in my pocket, and if it's more than, say, 5 or 10,000 baht, it's because I need to pay for something in cash that costs a certain amount of money, and it's take the money from the ATM, go right over to the place, purchase what I need to purchase, boom, it's done, money's gone. I just don't ever. Nowadays, why do you need to carry all that much cash? In certain trips, you might need to carry cash, but then who's going to bother you if you're in the middle of nowhere? Try to steal your cash. And if that's the case, if you're really worried about some pirate coming after you or something, so stash some cash in some place. You got one wallet with your 2,000 baht. You got one wallet somewhere else with a bunch of other, the bulk of your funds. Who's they? I don't know who they is. If they get a positive Chinese virus test, why don't they just give a second test to verify the first test? Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. Why ask why? Illogical logic. There's so many things out there, but you go, why are they doing this? What is the problem? Why are they doing this? One thing in Phuket is that they're supposedly worried they're going to be overrun with tourists, and they're not going to be able to keep up and test all the tourists coming in. So they want to use the antigen test. Now what's the percentage of with that for a false positive? I don't know, but it makes no sense to me, man. I've given up trying to understand it all. All I want to do is just, if I want to come to the coffee shop, I come to the coffee shop. I do the bare minimum necessary. I wear the mask in. I sit down. I don't have to wear a mask. I take it off. If I want to go to Chiang Mai, I'll wear the mask on the plane. I'll do what they require just to be able to go to where I want to go. Once I get out in the river, I will not be wearing a mask. I can tell you that right now. There's not a chance in hell. I won't go if I got to wear a mask, and they won't ask because they know that's who's going to do that. It's like, why don't I go swimming underwater and go diving with a mask on? And I don't mean a mask in the diving sense. I mean a mask in the COVID mask sense. Hey, how about I put a COVID mask on and then put my diving mask on over it? So, why ask why? Anyway, I think we're done. We're done. We're done for the day. Another stream in the bag. It's now 10:47 here. The mall is opened up. And I don't know when I'm going to stream again. I kind of doubt it's going to be tomorrow. But you never know. The next time I may be out and about somewhere. Where, I don't know, because I'm focused on right now. Like I said, I'm focused on the dog situation, and also, the upcoming trip to Chiang Mai, and then also the bigger trip and the upcoming trips. So I got a lot on my plate, not to mention, dealing with everyday shit. So you're welcome, everybody. Thank you. Interesting to know. Appreciate all the contributions and everything like that. I am going to put some information up about the trip probably the next day. It'll be up on my website, and I'll get into it a little bit more in depth, and you'll see just how much stuff is involved, and then we'll take it from there. So thank you again, and until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok, Chok Di, Jerkan Mai, which is good luck, and see you later. All right. Try to be good and take care.